Okay, let's talk about China. No, not about TikTok, Red Note, or censorship, but about video games. One game in particular, Love is All Around.
加速心跳频率，宇宙独特的定律，因为见到了你，带我到陌生领域。
Just like Five Hearts Under One Roof, Love is All Around is an interactive dating sim where you play as a single guy through a first-person perspective, which encounters 6 different women in which he can pursue romantically. This game is developed and published by a developer called Entity. You can also find it on Steam, or if you have a console, you can buy it off of the PlayStation Store or the Microsoft Store. For those who are the PC master race, you can play it if you have Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, or even Linux. Unlike Five Hearts Under One Roof, there is much more attention given to the story and characters here, which can make or break the game for you or change your experience depending on the type of person you are. In this game, you play as a character named Yu Yi, whom is much more of a character than Yu Man ever was from Five Hearts Under One Roof. Yu Yi was the leader of his own company that eventually failed and left him with debt and no money. Seeing as he had really no other options, he left his home and most of his friends and family behind to pursue a new life in order to find work to take care of his debt.
说对了，
对，做生意破产，负债不少。我来这个城市就是想办法还债，不想脱离身边人。
所以你是偷偷来这儿的，你身边的朋友都不知道，挺爷们儿的嘛。
So he moves to this new city basically and gets a new job as a janitor at an art exhibit. This is actually the place where he meets the 2 girls that are first introduced throughout the game, Zhang Zion and Li Yunxi. He also has a best friend by the name of Lu that helps him out in pivotal moments throughout the game. Lu helps Yu Yi find a place to stay and also tries to cheer him up and cheer him on when he is down.
哎呀，青蛙没少折呀！你说你有这时间，你跟我出去浪啊？哪有这个心情啊？小时候老师是怎么说的？大考大玩，小考小玩，不考不玩。越是大的磨难，你越得放松心情啊。嗨，你说的倒轻巧。哎呀，不就是银行又催你款了吗？你坐在这儿，能解决问题吗？啊？别愁眉苦脸的了，好不好？那你说能怎么办啊？首先，你得积极起来呀，把自己打开，别这么丧啊！把以前那个我认识的油嘴滑舌、油头粉面、尖嘴猴腮、油尽灯枯的故意，你给我找回来呀！对，就是这个笑容啊！你积极的面对生活，不管欠不欠债，咱都开开心心的，多认识几个朋友，多个朋友多条路，没准哪个朋友就帮上你了。你怎么跟那个港剧里那个什么似的那个人呐？开心是一天，不开心也是一天，对不对？你看看我，你得浪起来呀！你这好了，行了。对，就是这个笑容啊。不过你说的对啊，我现在必须得打起精神努力工作。那就先把债还了再说。漂亮。
He tries to be a good wingman here and there, but he's only semi-successful. He often fails at being a good wingman. Funny thing though, he might just be gay. He shows no interest in dating throughout the game. There's even evidence earlier on in the game where you can see he has a chance to talk to a girl, but he chooses not to. He also tries to kiss Yu Yi at certain parts in the game depending on the choices you make. And he actually gets a bit heartbroken if you make other choices that he doesn't actually agree with. It's actually kind of hilarious. It's also funny because Five Hearts had a guy that was similar to this, even though he didn't play the same role. There's a dude, and I call him the corn dog guy for reasons you'll soon find out. But he's a guy that bothers Mao Suk when you first meet her, and the game actually gives you the option to kiss him. If you do, he will pop up randomly throughout the story and offer you a corn dog and slowly fall in love with you here and there. Now you have the option to refuse him or not, but if you take the corn dog and eat the corn dog when he offers it to you, he will actually fall in love with you. Near the end of the game, he will offer the corn dog to you again, and if you eat that corn dog, he will fall head over heels for you. And it's actually kind of hilarious because Mao Suk herself gets extremely depressed and disappointed. She actually starts crying because obviously she found out you're gay, but the guy falls heads over heels for you. And it's kind of funny because you dog that corn dog down. Like, it's not even funny. If you really look at it, he dogs it down. He eats that thing in one bite.
원래? 감사합니다. 다음에는 우리 회사 오는 것도 한번 생각해보고.
말씀만이라도 감사합니다. 먼저 들어가 보겠습니다.
우리 회사 오라는 건 진심이니까 한번 생각해봐.
네.
먹을래?
Now, anyway, enough about gay guys. Let's talk about these girls. Or, I should say, women. All of them are at least over the age of 19. Now, these women are Jing Jian, Li Yunxi, Zhao Lu, which is by far my favorite character out of all of them. And her part in her description about her character is probably going to be the biggest one because I don't know what it is, but I just have to say that I like her character the most and I like the actress the most. And then you have Xin Zuxin, Lin Yinquin, and Zhang Jin. Okay, so Jing Jian, who is played by Zhang Chenyao, is a character whose path delves into her strength, determination, and personal evolution. Her path also deals with themes of love, loyalty, and self-discovery. The narrative features scenes of emotional depth, addressing insecurities and the true meaning of love. She is 23 years old, and her birthday is on December the 11th, and she actually works as a magazine editor. It's pretty obvious she is an alcoholic by some of the things that you see her do within the game.
"你怎么喝这么多啊？
你管我，快点扶我回去。
哎呦，
我刚看了一下，还堵着呢，我们再喝一杯。
And will get upset if you call her out on it or call her out on anything, really. However, she will not get as upset as if she will if you ever lie to her. It is not an understatement to say that she will literally kill you if you lie to her or make her too upset. It is actually a possible ending that she will bury you alive if you lie too much in the game.
子妍，不要这么绝交好不好？你看，飞碟，三体人，给个机会好不好？子妍，子妍。
我刚刚问你那几个问题，就有想知道你到底能不能诚实。结果从你嘴里，我没有得到一句实话。你和之前那些人一模一样。
子妍，子妍，子妍，子妍，子妍，子妍，子妍。
It's actually foreshadowed that she is this way. She says many times that her boyfriends met terrible fates if they betrayed her, and the fact that she keeps a random shovel just hanging around her house is a major red flag. However, she is kind of a reverse tsundere. She is kind, but slowly reveals a more temperamental side depending on how you play. But despite all that, she does genuinely care for Gyu Yi. She lets him stay at her home for free of charge. She even seeks advice from him, and also trusts him enough to pick her up when she was drunk and had nobody else to help. Overall, she is a great woman who genuinely cares for Gyu Yi, but if you get on her bad side, you're just simply cooked.
你的回答像极了我前男友。你跟别的女人，你这么说吗？
哪有别的女人啊？
要我提醒你吗？过几天我就要出国探亲了，1个月之后，你要么只有我一个人，要么你就别再让我看见你。
So, the second woman you run into is Li Yunxi, who is played by an actress by the name of Wang Ziyun. She is 27 years old and was born on January 15th and works as a curator for a museum. Yu Yi actually meets her right after he meets Zhang Zion. You start the game by waking up in her house after Yu Yi and Zion got too drunk and he called her to pick them up. She's a very laid-back woman and doesn't really get upset over much things. She is probably the most mature out of all the women in the game. She is a true artist through and through, and most of your activities with her involve artistic endeavor. Everything from analyzing art to buying art, and even helping Yu Yi open his own art museum/store. She cares for him probably more than any of the other girls, or I should say, respects him the most. Honestly, I thought she would be the Mao Suk of this game. It seemed like the game was setting that up. She is the closest to Yu Yi and the one that seems the most willing and eager to spend time with him, but apparently that's not the case. The game unfortunately forces you to mess up the relationship that you might build with her, but I'll cover more of that later. Unfortunately, this means your ending with her is always a bad or sad ending, though you do have a choice on what kind of sad ending you get, either leaving her alone, confronting her with her new fiance, or confronting her before her wedding.
这个你觉得怎么样？
好像差点意思，
你看看我这套怎么样？
还是不太行。
真麻烦。那我再换一套。这个怎么样？
这个好，这个特别像大学生。
那这样我们说好了，以后在家就穿这个了哈。
好。
那我先去睡了，晚安。
Now let's talk about Shin Zuxin, who is played by Yu Binghao. She is 23 years old and was born on April 10th. She doesn't have any occupation, but her father is a rich businessman, so she doesn't have to really worry about money too much. She's actually a childhood friend of Yu Yi. She used to tease him and get him in trouble a lot when they were kids. However, it would turn out that she always had feelings for him. This is why when she found out that he left, she tracked him down and found him in his new city. Funny thing is, regardless of which woman you are with in chapter 2, Shin Zuxin will turn up at the end no matter what. It turns out Yu Yi owes her money as well, but instead of money, she wants him to spend time with her, though she covers it up by saying that she wants him to work for her. Xing Xian actually tips off Yu Yi to the fact that she's just trying to trap him because she has feelings for him.
我就不靠谱。
我觉得沈慧欣不是向你要债那么简单。
我知道，哎，他就是闲得无聊。
不是，他是喜欢你，他用还债来把你绑住。你带我去见他，我想证实一下我的想法。
Her father is also kind of overbearing, especially with her and her boyfriends, which is also why she seeks out Yu Yi, because he is in a way an escape for her. She is really energetic, somewhat childlike, and can be pretty possessive. Her personality might be incredibly annoying to some players. It seems that it's some of the attention, because even Yu Yi starts off with being annoyed at her. Obviously that changes if you go down her path, then Yu Yi will fall in love with her. But yeah, a lot of the players don't really like her and find her incredibly annoying.
故意，你逃不掉的。
Not this bitch again.
是你就是我的贴身助理，24小时必
She's horrible. She's terrible.
须随叫随。
There's nothing positive about this woman. Everything about her makes my dick shrivel up. Oh no, she's here for the pay pig players. The guys who like being called derogatory names and like having to like give her money.
It's different from me. I find her personality to be actually sweet and incredibly cute. And when she confesses her love for Yu Yi while crying, how can you not feel bad or fall for her?
我爸
啊，你爸怎么了？
我爸他来接我了。顾一哥，你能不能等我？
等你。
我喜欢你，我从小就喜欢你。我偷跑出来，假装问你要债，就是因为我喜欢你，我想要跟你在一起。我爸他知道我来找你，气得都住院了。顾一哥，你一定要等我。
因为我跟你爸闹成这样值得吗？
我不知道，但是我知道，我和你在一起的这段日子，是我这些年最开心的日子。顾一哥，我不想离开你。喂，爸，我马上回去，我就是来告个别。顾一哥，我要走了，不过我一定会回来的，你等我回来，你一定等我回来。
等等，我跟你去找你爸。
The The next woman is the beautiful Lin Yo-Quinn, who is played by Wang Jingchen. Her character is 28 years old and was born on June 22nd. She also works as an accountant and does pretty well for herself. She happens to be a single mom as well, but despite that, she still has her stuff all together. You first meet her while she's arguing with her ex, and she asks you to essentially pretend to be her boyfriend. If you agree, eventually you have to square up with her boyfriend, who turns out to be a professional boxer.
江宝没事吧？
什么都别说，道歉。
啊，不好意思啊，给您的用餐带来困扰，麻烦您能帮忙撤销一下投诉吗？
我让他给你道歉，你在道什么歉啊？
哎，这没小男朋友吗？就这点本事？
我男朋友不像你，他比较有涵养。
有涵养？我看这就是怂包吧。叶强，咱俩这刚离婚几天啊，你就找别的男，最主要还找个这样的。你要是真的是个男的就行，你还不如回来跟我。
哎，把你的手拿开啊！
哎呦，这小男朋友还挺向着你的。哎，你这样，你呀上去给我打一场，我就把那个投诉啊给你撤销了。
疯了吧你？顾意，你没必要跟他打。
给我一副手套，今天我们两个人必须有个人躺着出去。
Apparently there is a way to beat him, but I can never figure it out, and each and every time I fought him, I got Gyu knocked the hell out. It really doesn't matter though, because in the end, you still get love points from her just for fighting the guy in the first place. Modern day ladies, please take notes. She even paid for his hospital bills and eventually invites him to stay at her house. She feeds him dinner and introduces him to her kid. They even play hide and seek.
嘘，别说。别动。
如果浩浩一直找不到我们，那我们就一直不出去嘛。
可是你说要陪他玩的，现在又反悔啦？
啊，没有，我就是站着有点不太舒服。咱们俩能不能错错位置？
怎么错啊？
我喜欢在下面。
你喜欢？
那不动了啊。那我还是在上面吧。
Also, when her son's teacher comes over to berate her for his behavior, claiming it's because he doesn't have a proper home life because there is no father there, Yu Yi comes out and pretends to be her husband and puts the teacher in her place.
我是孩子的父亲，我想问一下，浩浩为什么打闹？
这个，
浩浩，你为什么要跟同学打闹啊？
他说我没有爸爸。
老师，你也听见了，这件事不能怪浩浩啊。你作为老师，是不是应该把事情的原委先弄清楚啊，而不是一味的责怪孩子？
是，抱歉，这件事情确实我没有了解清楚。
Also, they end up working for the same company as the story goes along, mostly thanks to another character, Zhang Jin, and she tries to help you out there too. She is obviously the most attractive woman out of all of them. Like I said before, she's beautiful, but she's also one of the strongest in terms of how she handles her life. Players seem to really like her too, kind of the same way that players like Gran and Five Hearts.
干嘛？
你快坐。我警告你。我现在已经有男朋友了，麻烦你不要再来骚扰我。
Yeah, and we bang all the time.
这钱对你很重要啊。
啊，让你见笑了。
要不干脆你好人做到底，做戏做全套，帮我再骗下前夫呗。
啊？
你放心，我不会让你白帮忙的，我会给你一定的经济补偿。
But in the end, if you go down her path, you get married and you'll have a happy life with her.
我们开始学习喽。爷爷，
爷爷，
奶奶，
奶奶，
妈妈，
妈妈，
爸爸，
什么？
爸爸，
什么？
爸爸。
哎。
And like I mentioned before, Zhang Jin is actually the woman that you end up working at a company for, along with Lin Yuquin. Now, essentially, Zhang Jin is 32 years old and was born on August 9th and owns her own entire company. She's a clear, ruthless businesswoman who is perfectly fine with taking kickbacks and is impressed if you choose to do it when given the option in the game. She meets Yu Yi by accidentally running him over. She feels a bit guilty, so she kind of gives him a job as her personal driver at first. And over time, through spending time together and even defending her from other colleagues that are trying to court her, you develop feelings for each other. Yu Yi brings out a kind of fun side in her that she found that she missed. He is like a relief for her and an avenue for actually having some fun in her life and having some separation from her work. Now, there's not much to say about Zhang Jin. The description I gave right there is pretty much all there is to her. She is pretty and everything too, but at the end of the day, she's nothing more than just a businesswoman who tries to get in touch with her inner child by being with you, and you kind of bring out the inner child within her, so it kind of makes the relationship work, even though you are kind of like a house husband. Even though you do work for the company, she says it straight up that, hey, this is how it's going to be. So she kind of wears some pants in the relationship.
啊，差点忘了，这是给你的生活费，这是家里的开销，这个是给你用来还债的。给你准备了一个助理，想去哪儿你联系他就好了。哎呀，还想跟你说什么来着？我这一下子想不起来了。今天安排你的工作必须做。
好的，老板。
那我走了，拜拜。
拜拜。
Now, let's talk about Xiao Lu, literally one of my most favorite characters out of all of them in this entire game. Xiao Lu was 20 years old and was born on November 5th, and for the most of the game, she was an intern. She becomes head of human resources in Zhang Jin's company by the end of the game. You first encounter her in a bar when Yu Yi goes searching for his phone that he lost. It turns out that same night that he got drunk with Jing Xian, he lost his phone and was being rude to Xiao Lu. She hates you at first, but however, thanks to your friend Lu, you end up running into her again because the apartment he finds for you to live in is also one she's living in as well. Through living together, you form a closer relationship and she realizes you're not as bad of a person as she thought. You sleep with her when she's afraid to sleep in her own room because she saw a cockroach in there. You even help her as well by pretending to be her boyfriend or family depending on what you choose at her graduation from college. Just like Yu Yi, she's around the same age and has no money. She is happy despite her situation and not having a lot of money. She is also incredibly understanding and accommodating towards Yu Yi. She always tries to keep a positive attitude on things and doesn't let life make her depressed, though she does struggle somewhat with self-confidence and is a bit naive at the beginning at least. Xiao Lu is by far the cutest and best character in the entire game. There was not one moment that I ever felt bored or felt like she was being unreasonable, and everything she did or said made me smile in real life. And a few moments where she was down made me actually feel for her. She's like that ultimately sweet girl that you meet and you try everything that you can not to mess things up because you know you will never find another girl like that in your entire life. She's even willing to help you out with paying things for you when you don't have the money, even though she doesn't have much herself. She's even willing to pay your side of the rent so you don't have to leave her in the apartment alone. You do have a short break from her in the game, but if you continue down her path completely, you'll end up being together with her and y'all will be happily ever after.
哦，辉哥，咱们去下一个项目吧，走。
Not only do I love Xiao Lu as a character, but I love her actress as well. Her real name is Zhao Jiajia. Now, Zhao is a Chinese singer and actress and was a member of SNH48, Team 12. She has been in multiple films and shows. This includes the to be announced Hai Mangzhou Kui, Chong Fan Tian, Po Hu Niv Zhu Di Zai Jiao Xiao Zi, Zhai Wangjin, D Sao Fanjai, and Jiao Gwen D Xiao Hu, Marriage Badge, and Rainbow Town. Also, the group she was a member of, SNH48, is a Chinese offshoot of one of the biggest idol groups that have ever existed, and one of my personal favorites, AKB48. Unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, they lost their overall popularity and chokehold on the idol industry, but they are still the GOATs in my opinion. Now, Jaja was part of the 5th generation of SNH48. She first joined on July 25th, 2015 as a trainee and was promoted to being a full team member on December 4th, 2015. She eventually graduated from the group in 2017, which is usual for idol groups. Members don't stay long and often age out, which is part of the deal of being an idol. 20 is typically the cutoff, and when members leave because of that, it's considered a graduation. Now, Jaja was also featured in a few units and performances that are notable. Some of these are part of Unit 12-1, which performed Locker Room Boy, being part of Unit 12-2, which performed Charwin Zhang CQ, and then being part of the SNH48 Request Hour Setlist Best 50 of 2017 performance of Sweet and Bitter. Well, enough about the characters. Let's talk about the gameplay. Obviously, it's a dating sim, so the gameplay is nothing more than click on the options available. The interesting thing here is the way the options are presented to you. Just like in 5 Hearts, you get different results from choosing different options. However, in this game, the options are very limited. The promotion material promotes the fact that there are over 100 endings, but a lot of those endings are abrupt and happen out of your control. For example, I was doing a playthrough trying to court Lee Yunzi. I mostly ignored Lin Yuqin because I thought I could get a storyline where I mostly followed Zhang Zion and Yunzi. But because I didn't get enough love points for Yuqin, I got beat up by her family members, and the whole story just ended there.
朋友送的。
哦，朋友送的。既然朋友那么多，那让他们给你洗吧。
哎，1块、2块、3块。哎。钱，你们可以拿走啊，有事好商量啊。
这不是钱的事儿。
你们是谁？想干什么？
和我表外甥倪月清的事儿，我都知道。你不知道天高地厚不识抬举呀。今天我们来就是教训你的。
他叫你来的？
要是让他知道，我们就来不了了。给我动手！
不要！哎呦！
不是叫你好自为之吗？也行吧，早死早安上。
No matter what I did, I could not get past it, so the game basically forced me to interact with her to have a different storyline. The same goes for trying to get an ending with Lee Yunzi. As much as I tried, I couldn't get an ending with her. The game forces you at a certain point to just give up on trying to make things work with her, and the art/store museum you open up, it only gives you 2 options at that point, and both result in her basically breaking up with you. Even if you try to follow up with her later, when you see her again, all you can do is engage in a desperate plea to want to see her again that makes things even more sad. There are plenty of other methods that force you to lose points with the woman as well. Here are a few more examples. When you receive a tie from Lin Yuqin, no matter what option you choose, you end up disappointing her. When you run into Jialu and Lin Yuqin after Zhong Jin invites you into our office building, both options result in you losing affection from both of them. The game, for its attention to character and story, kind of forces the story that they want to tell on you, and all the options for different endings are incredibly superficial, especially when some, like the one for Lin Yuqin, should have just been an addition to a plot line instead of a whole ending in of itself. All in all, Love Is All Around is a great game, but it does fall short in comparison to dating sims from Korea like 5 Hearts Under One Roof. It promises a variety in choices, but the options are only superficial. The game forces you to go down certain paths, thus not really putting too much power over changing the story in your hands. The characters are all pretty good and well defined, including the player characters. The game is pretty wholesome, probably the only wholesome one out of all of these games. Ultimately, this is a game that is worth paying as long as you can get it for a cheap price. And seeing as it came out in 2023, the price is only about $10 USD right now. There is a DLC to this game that is called Love is in the Room, which is kind of like a prequel to the current story. Have not played that yet, so I don't know too much about what happens in there, but I might in the future. Seems pretty interesting. It came out in 2024, and it could be good or not. Also, apparently Love is All Around is getting a sequel as well, with most of the characters returning. So that's at least something to look forward to. If you want to keep up with on the date with the news about the info of this game and other dating sims just in general, check out a YouTube channel called Rain's Corner. He pretty much posts daily updates about these kind of games, what's coming out, what's happening, and other features that the actresses and people are in. It's pretty cool. And with that, tell me in the comments if this video will help you or not with deciding to play Love is All Around or just dating games in general. And if you want to, here are all the social media IDs of the actresses in case you want to follow them. And if you can, please subscribe and like the video. If you don't like the video, you have no riz, okay? Now I'm awesome and you're awesome, and I'll see you guys later.